Listen up, fuck knuckles. We're here to review the shit out of Deadpool 2. Let's do it.
Yeah, holy fuck, alright, no worries. Yeah, we can swear in this one.
Yeah, because if you go into Deadpool expecting anything other than that, you're going to be disappointed. So let's just review the movie. So Deadpool 2 is the second film in the Deadpool franchise. This is, of course, the sequel to, I guess, the surprise hit of 2016, even though by all means we kind of knew it was going to be a hit no matter what. So it was hardly a surprise. This film is directed by David Leitch, who is one half of the pair that basically created the John Wick film. One of the directors went on to do the sequels. This director did Atomic Blonde last year, and he's back with Deadpool 2 this year.
So Deadpool 2 sees the return of Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, of course. Alongside him, we have a few new cast members, including Josh Brolin as the well-known Cable.
Thanos.
Well, I mean, well-known if you know Deadpool, but, I mean...
We don't, but here's the thing.
We also have Julian Dennison, who a lot of people might know from the film Hunt for the Wilder People, which is absolutely fantastic. We also have Zazie Beetz from Atlanta, and now she plays Domino in Deadpool 2.
There's all those guys and a whole lot more in this movie. This is honestly a really stacked cast that is loaded with exciting cameos and whatnot. But the story of this film is very much, I guess, the sequel to Deadpool. They kind of open after that first film to do whatever they want, and they did something that's kind of crazy and just bizarrely out there. It's almost kind of so whack that it's too hard to describe, so I'm not gonna say exactly what happens aside from the fact that this guy, Cable, comes from the future to basically murder a child. That's about all that we need to know. That's about all that you need to run off, because obviously if you're going to this film, it's because you were into Deadpool. I don't think anyone that saw Deadpool 1 and like hated it was like, you know what, I'm gonna be on board with this. You might be, and I think you will probably get some enjoyment out of this film no matter what.
Yeah, first thing off the blocks here, you're getting a sequel to Deadpool. You're getting everything that you enjoyed in the first one, plus more on a bigger budget.
Well, even if you did enjoy it, you're just getting what you got in the first one.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, you get sequels to jokes from the first one for starters.
Yeah,
you get new jokes from Deadpool and just kind of his classic witty ways and breaking the fourth wall. There's more and more of that. Overall, I mean, like, if you're in for that, then that's what you're going to get no matter what.
In the lead up to this film, I saw a lot of people online going on about the fact that this movie looks like it's going to be the exact same thing over again. And while I think the story is different and allows for some very, very different setups, I do think that, like, you should go into a sequel expecting that the film maintains the identity of the film that preceded it. Like, that is what a sequel is. You wouldn't go into Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and expect something entirely different to Guardians of the Galaxy 1, otherwise what is the point of it being the sequel? So that is 100% like the main thing to focus on here, is that if you are into Deadpool 1, this is going to be right up your alley.
The additional characters are a lot of fun as well. Josh Brolin as Cable is fantastic. I mean, Josh Brolin is never not fantastic. Zazie Beetz here is actually excellent, as well as Julian Dennison as well. They're great upcoming actors and actresses. And of course, Ryan Reynolds is just so goddamn charismatic, you can't take your eyes off him the entire time. It's just ridiculous how great he is to watch.
Ryan Reynolds really is like 100% in sync with this character. He really does have this fantastic amount of energy where he could literally, like a Deadpool film could literally be a 2-hour monologue by him to the camera, and it would have that same energy because this guy is so in tune with this character. It's just honestly like really fantastic to watch.
Now, I think the interesting thing here about Deadpool 2 is I think it's going to be hard to not enjoy it if you enjoy the first film. What's interesting is the conversation about Deadpool 2, how it was made, the people behind it, and I suppose just talking about it technically, because kind of we've got a few different point of views on it overall, because it is an exciting film kind of looking at it from that perspective.
Because I think it should be quite clear that this is the more technically proficient film. It looks better. Obviously, Jonathan Sealer, who did the photography in the John Wick films and in Atomic Blonde last year, has a great way of working with high-colored lighting, like all these really, really exciting purples and greens and reds and all that stuff. The film definitely pops visually a whole lot more. And in terms of the actual action set pieces, they are really fantastic. There is one in the middle of this film that is really, really excitingly done. A lot of the CG doesn't really look fantastic, but I feel like in the context of a movie that is so ridiculous, it does actually kind of get away with it somewhat, because you're not expecting to be immersed in it. The film is all about making sure that you are not immersed in it, so I feel like that works in its favor. But there is a definite sense that things don't necessarily cohere as well as they should, and there's moments where something will happen and you're like, oh, okay, we're doing this now, but not in a way that really feels like it flows in any great way. It just kind of happens and happens, and it works. It's just not that well executed from that perspective.
Now, don't get me wrong, I definitely did enjoy this film, but I think there's some interesting conversations to be had about it, because the thing is, the first one was made as a blockbuster on a shoestring budget, basically. Yeah. Like, they were pushed to their limits creatively to get the most amount out of every single scene, despite not having the money. But they definitely have more money here, so yes, we have kind of a bigger film as such.
Expands outwards.
However, I feel as though they don't kind of necessarily know where they're wanting to take the Deadpool franchise, because of course we're going to get 3 more Deadpool films. I mean, the first one was a massive success.
More than that, for sure.
We're going to get a lot more than 3. But it feels as though Fox don't really know still where they want to place Deadpool. They don't really want to place him in the X-Men universe, and they don't really want to make an entire new franchise out of him, or maybe they do with X-Force, who knows. But it just feels as though he was kind of floating, and I feel as though now we've got a sequel to a film that just kind of exists, and it's really fun, but in the scheme of things, I don't know where it's going to sit, which is very interesting because, of course, Disney have now bought Fox. So Fox's plans for Deadpool in the future are going to change. So who knows where Deadpool will go in the future, which I actually think is a really good thing, because I think that some harsh decisions need to be made about Deadpool in whether it be the MCU now, or whether it be combined with the X-Men or X-Force, and they need to decide exactly what they want to do with his character moving into the future, and then from there, allow him to be creative, allow Ryan Reynolds to go nuts with the character.
And taking that and moving it back to this film, I don't know if it feels as desperate as the first film did. That film really felt like it was a struggle to get it made, and they pushed every single boundary they could to maximize that budget, to maximize everything that they were doing. I'm not saying that it all worked perfectly or that it was the best film that it could be, but you could definitely feel there was more of like a grounded, like, we're just desperately trying to get this thing done with the first one. This one here feels a lot more loose, feels a lot more floaty. Yes, I had an equal amount of fun in both. I don't actually know if I can say that one is better than the other, but there's definitely something that was captured in that first film that has been lost here.
Now, we're not pointing out that we're disappointed at all. We're literally just having a conversation, because that's what you should be able to do after a film. You don't have to completely hate it, and you don't have to completely love it. Well, of course, you can completely love it.
You can completely hate it as well if you want. That's fine, whatever.
It's just okay to have a reasonable conversation about a film instead of sitting in the comment section going, "Oh, fucking goddamn, why are they saying it?" Just kind of lost my mind there a little bit. But the thing is, all I'm saying is we're just having a conversation about the film. Definitely not disappointed whatsoever, because the thing is, I still had so much goddamn fun the entire time.
I think what we're saying is you kind of need to know what you're getting into with this movie. It's pretty much going to be exactly what you expect. I feel like we should know, based on the trailers, based off what we've seen, based on what we know Deadpool is so far, you were just getting more of that. That's what we're going to keep coming back to. It is just a sequel to Deadpool with more resources behind it, basically. It's the expanded version, the bigger version. I don't really know, as I've said, the direction feels like it's kind of floaty, but it doesn't matter, because the thing that was produced here is actually really entertaining, and I guess at the end of the day, that is the point of Deadpool. It is not about making grand messages or grand themes, even though this film is actually rather thematically focused on something. I'm not saying it was executed amazingly, but it is at least focused. That is there. But it's not what makes Deadpool tick. Deadpool is all about being entertaining. It is about subverting stuff. It is about breaking the fourth wall. It is about giving a cinema experience that feels kind of different. It's like an antidote to superhero films that, no matter how comedic some of them may be, probably take themselves super seriously, and this film almost addresses that from like the first shot pretty much. So that is kind of the point here. I think overall what we're saying is that we really enjoyed watching this movie. We'd watch it again. I was able to take my parents, and they were so excited to watch the movie. They walked out of it loving it. They were like, I want to see it again tomorrow. It's definitely, if you're a Deadpool fan, you are going to get what you want. We're just saying that maybe overall the construction of the film isn't as great as it could be, or maybe it's a little bit directionless in terms of what it's actually doing, what its focus is. But at the end of the day, it's entertaining. That's what matters. And if we're going to score it,
we're going to settle on a 7 for this one.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. It's just a really entertaining movie. So that was our review of Deadpool 2. Have you seen it yet?
Did you like it?
Did you hate it?
Did you like this video?
Of course you did.
Crave more banter?
If so, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel down there somewhere.
And don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at Breaking Banter.
And you can also support us on Patreon. We've updated our reward tiers to kind of like let you guys access cool new stuff, so go and check that out.